we will go for the first hike of the season. And I'm so excited. And I am now ready to move on to the next project. So, what is the next project? Start getting myself immersed back in this project. I'm already feeling very overwhelmed. I have to just start writing. Let's just see how unrealistic this is going to be. No wonder I feel so overwhelmed. I forgot how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. It is very tense and very creepy in places. Hello and welcome to a new vlog. Welcome to very early Saturday morning before the sun has even risen. Welcome if you're new here. Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm a full-time university writing instructor and a part-time content creator and indie author. Welcome back if you're one of my lovely returning friends. It is great to have you all here today. It is a gorgeous, beautiful, cloudy Saturday morning. If you watched the last vlog, you will have seen my absolute giddiness at how cloudy and windy and cool it is in the Phoenix Valley yesterday and today. So the last vlog was just filmed yesterday as I'm filming this one. So it's day 2 of this amazing weather. So I have the air conditioning off and the windows thrown open. I'm about to close them a little bit though, because we're about to go for a morning walk. Or maybe something else. The temperature is dropping, and with the mornings especially being so cool, longtime viewers, you want to guess what we're doing today? You want to go for a hike? I am so excited. I'm probably too excited. This is probably premature, although I think the clouds might be moving in my favor. This had originally been planned to be a sunrise hike, but that's where the sun should be. So you can see there's a bit of a glow way off to the south, but yeah, that's where the sun should be coming up, and it's blocked by clouds and very thick and heavy clouds. Although just a little bit over in this direction and like to the north, it's looking a lot clearer. There's just a little bit of a patch of sprinkle rain directly over me right now. It's slowing down. So I'm just going to give it another few minutes, and then I'm going to go for the first hike of the season, which is so exciting. Again, like, it's not optimal conditions. And if I was less enthusiastic, I would just wait and do this tomorrow. But I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait at all. I want to go hiking now. So it's just going to be a short hike. It's going to be an easy hike. There's tons of people here already, more people arriving. I am clearly not the only person who wants to go hiking this morning, despite the fact that it is cloudy, a tiny bit rainy. The sun isn't even shining, and it's nearly 7 a.m. The park's only been open since 7:30 something, because it opens at the technical sunrise time. So there's still like at least 100 cars here and more arriving every minute. I'm going to do the main trail at this trailhead, so the busiest trail. So there'll be lots of other people around, but at this time of year and this time of the morning and in these conditions, my worry about rattlesnakes is significantly reduced. I'll still be keeping my eyes out, but I feel like it's definitely still too warm in the afternoons. And I'm keeping my eye on the forecast for the next several days. I'm not sure if it's going to be all hiking from here on out, or if I might alternate some morning hikes with some morning walks around my neighborhood. But I'm bored. I'm bored of my neighborhood. I'm ready to get hiking again. So yeah, it is definitely looking a lot clearer behind me So it's definitely clearing up a bit. So I think I'm going to go walk up towards the visitor center. I might sit under the cover of the visitor center for another 5 minutes or so, but I want to get out and enjoy the fresh air. And then, yeah, we will go for the first hike of the season. Oh, I'm so excited. I really had been hoping for a sunrise hike. I'm going to try to come out here tomorrow as well. Tomorrow's supposed to be clear. Tomorrow, hopefully, because I've been up. I woke up right at 5:30, like a kid on Christmas morning. And then I looked out the window because I saw in the weather app that it was supposed to be cloudy this morning, but I was still holding out hope because sometimes the weather app says cloudy and it's just like a few wisps of clouds in the sky. And it's like, that's not cloudy. So I was hoping for that, but it is actually properly cloudy. But tomorrow is supposed to be full sun. I will hopefully get my beautiful sunrise hike tomorrow. There will be plenty of sunrise hikes and sunset hikes coming up now that we are officially kicking off the hiking season here on this channel. But today, even though this is not what I was hoping for today, this is still really rare. A full cloudy, super cool. This feels like December or January, so I am really going to enjoy this and not complain about it. So I'm not complaining, just explaining this wasn't what I had intended for the first hike of the season. But if this is what we get, this is what we get, and we are going to enjoy it. Was amazing. The rain definitely picked up at the end, but now it is starting to get lighter and I can see the clouds are starting to break up a little bit. So that's interesting. But yeah, that was just amazing. That was so good. I did 1.85 miles in about 51 minutes. I was definitely going slow because it was getting a bit damp and the rocks were looking a bit slick. So I did not want to slip. But it was so quiet out. Oh my gosh, it was so quiet. There are a lot of people out here. And like, there's even more people in the parking lot than when I started. So it's very busy, but everyone's so spread out. And I only passed or got passed by a few people, especially once I turned off the main trail and took one of the side loops. I was feeling pretty good, was originally only going to stay with the main trail, but felt pretty good and felt like it was okay to go on the side loops. It's just so quiet. I didn't see, the only wildlife I saw or heard were some birds, but like no bunnies, definitely no coyotes, no rattlesnakes. I think they were all staying cozy in their dens in this cold, wet morning. But yeah, it was a beautiful hike. Oh, I don't know if it will come across on camera, but it was a beautiful hike. So stay tuned to these vlogs because there's lots more hiking coming up, and they will not all be gray, cloudy, rainy hikes like this one was. This is pretty rare. This is really rare. But yeah, the hike was just amazing. The one sad bit, and I won't lie, I cried. I totally cried for about a minute. It was just really sad. One of my favorite saguaros has fallen. I recognized almost immediately that something was wrong because I got to this point in the trail where my two of my favorite saguaros in this whole park are located, and I just had this thought of, wait, I only see one. I swear there were two here. I know there were two here. And then sure enough, as I walked down into the ravine, the ditch wash area, I saw the remains of the one that had fallen. And I'll try to find a video or a picture of what it looked like last year. There's two of them kind of side by side. The one that fell is slightly up on the hill a little bit, and they're just massive. Both have multiple arms, and all of their arms are really long. And so I know that both of those saguaros are probably around 200 years old, maybe even older. Saguaros don't grow arms until they're 100. It is a myth that the more arms they have, the older they are. That like every arm is equal to 100 years. That's a myth. But when they have multiple big arms on them, and when their base is as wide, and when they're as tall as these ones are, these ones had to have been at least 70 feet tall. So thankfully the one is still standing, but it's just sad. It's just really sad. So that was the one downer of this hike. The rain, I was still in good spirits with the rain, but seeing that one of my favorite saguaros has fallen. So I know it's just something I have to accept, and I just kind of know that at the start of a hiking season, these next several hikes, both at this park and at the other one, that's not going to be the only one that fell since last season. So I've got a few more unpleasant surprises like that in store on these early hikes. But it's life. It's just what happens out here, and this cycle or circle of life for these saguaros just kind of continues. So it is what it is. It's just what I love about these saguaros is you realize how old they are. It's amazing to think what these saguaros have seen over the years. But anyway, I need to get home. I need a hot shower and I need a big cup of coffee. I'm going to get on with that, and we're going to get on with the rest of this vlog, which is going to be a writing vlog. The writing vlogs are back. The writing vlogs have returned. I am going to pick back up with Independent Hearts 4, which is my next book project that I'm going to be working on. So I've got some development work I want to do. I want to kind of go back over my notes and my outline and reacquaint myself with the plot, with what I had outlined, what I had wanted to do, reacquaint myself with the characters. I think I want to create a mood board on Pinterest for this book, because I also need to start doing some cover design prep for this book. We'll talk all about that throughout this vlog. But yeah, I dedicated today to book project stuff. I need to get back into it. Today felt like it'd be a good day to do that. I knew that I could vlog today. I wanted to vlog when I start working on it again. So it just worked out that this weekend would be the weekend. And then we also just got a bonus first hike of the season in this vlog as well. So keep watching the rest of this vlog and I will fill you in on all the details on Independent Hearts 4, what I'm doing with it, timelines, rough timelines for it, all of that stuff after I've had a shower and some coffee. Okay, it is now nearly 1:30 in the afternoon, but I'm pretty much on schedule. I'd wanted to be sitting down at 1, which I kind of did, but then I've been faffing around here at my desk. I've had a lovely late morning and early afternoon since getting back from hiking. I still can't believe I got to go hiking. It's just been the best day. It truly has. If you can hear a noise, that's the sprinklers outside because my windows are still open. I opened them yesterday, which you saw in the last vlog. They are open again today. The sprinklers will turn off very soon. So yeah, since getting home, I've cleaned myself up, washed my hair, all of that stuff. I've had my cup of coffee, I've had brunch. I have edited and exported Monday's vlog. So Monday's vlog is ready to go. I just need to finish the thumbnail for that. Oh, I need to go through and get the timestamps for that as well. I can do all that tomorrow. I've just relaxed and watched TV. I think this, maybe some sprinklers are turning off and the ones right outside my window are turning on. It's always something. It's always some noise or another in this apartment. Either it's the air conditioning or the weather's nice and the AC is off, but the windows are open and then it's ambient noise from outside. Anyway. But yeah, so I've just been having a really relaxing Saturday so far, but it is time to get back to work on book projects. So, Across the Pond 4, Forever Love London, is done. I haven't hit publish yet. We haven't had launch day yet. All of that will be happening imminently as you are watching this vlog. If you are a newsletter subscriber, watching this vlog, because this will go up on Wednesday, check your email on Friday. Just saying. Hopefully everything works out, but check your email on Friday, and if it doesn't come on Friday, keep checking it on Saturday and Sunday. If you are not subscribed to the email list, the link is in the description box below. So that book is nearly done. Everything's locked and loaded and ready to go, and I am now ready to move on to the next project. So what is the next project? The next project is Independent Hearts 4, which does not yet have a title. Book 4 is pretty much picking up where Candle Shop leaves off in terms of like calendar timeline. So the one difficulty I'm going to have as someone who is so impacted by the seasons this book is set in summer, like middle of summer, so it's going to be channeling all the summer vibes, which is my least favorite season. But summer in Olsenburg is a magical thing and I can make it be what I want. I just kind of wish that I could have published Forever Love London like in June and been writing this one, the first draft of this one, through July and August. I think that would have been better for me, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's really all I can tell you about this one. It's set in summer. That's all I can say about like the story. As for the project itself, I have started working on this already, so it is already fully outlined. I already have 24,000 words in this. That includes the first 3 and a bit chapters. So I'm up to chapter 4. I've got 300 words written in chapter 4. So I have 16,478 words written. And so of the 24,000 words total, 16,000 of them are actual book words. And so that leaves about 8,000 then is my outline, the remainder of my outline. So yeah, we're already more than a quarter of the way to my 95,000 word goal, and I'm not quite a quarter of the way through the chapter. So the first 3 chapters are a little bit long. I always aim for these to be below 100,000. These ones I try to keep a little bit shorter than the Across the Pond books, although I'm just incapable of writing a short book, so they're never going to be that short. So we'll see. It'll probably even out as I go through, but I do know the first chapter is definitely too long for a chapter 1. It's 6,400 words. So I will need to cut that down or split it up into 2 chapters. But then there's certain things that I always try to have happen at the end of chapter 1 and at the end of chapter 2 and 3. Like the first few chapters, I try to make sure the pacing is like really, really tight, and that there's something that happens at the end of each of those chapters that makes you want to read to the next chapter. So, but that will be something editing Andrea will deal with. We're not worrying about that today or with the first draft. So it's all good. But yeah, so I've already started all of this. So I'm not starting from scratch. I am starting from chapter 4, but I feel like I have been working on this in starts and stops. I did the outline and then I took a bit away from it, and then I started writing it, and then I took a bit away from it after getting through chapter 2. Then I came back and I finished writing chapter 3. Then I stepped away from it again for it's been 2 months or something. I haven't really gotten up to speed. I'm still starting and stopping. The train hasn't really picked up speed and hasn't gained momentum. It's not moving steadily down the track. So now that this is able to be my top focus, my main priority, it's time for me to reacquaint myself with the project and just really get my head fully into this project. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is work on a mood board in Pinterest, because that's going to serve 2 functions. I'll explain that later. And then also go back through my project notebook. I want to start using the Plantser journal that I was sent by the Dahlia Paper Company, and I want to go back through my Scrivener file and just read back through the chapters I've already written, start getting myself immersed back in this project. So I'm going to do all of that and change my battery because the light has been flashing at me, and then I will update you all once I've made some progress on those things. Okay, I'm already feeling very overwhelmed. And I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen. There is something about starting a new project that just feels so overwhelming. It's like standing at the bottom of a mountain that you're intending to climb. And like, you're choosing to climb it. You're choosing to do this. You're excited to do it. You know how amazing it's going to feel when you get to the top. But you're at the very bottom and the top is a long way away. I don't know, the fact that this is another 4th book in series, and the Independent Heart series is a little bit different in that the first 3 books have all been a little bit different, whereas with Across the Pond, the first 3 books kind of form a little bit of a trilogy, and now book 4, Forever Love London, is going to be kind of still in that world and still with all those same characters, but a different main character as the focus. With Independent Hearts, each book is a different woman and a different business and her journey. And so it's always fun and exciting to return to Olsenburg. And so I am looking forward to it, but it just takes a while. I feel like it takes a while to get reacquainted with the world and these characters and to mentally shift back over to the different series. And it's a whole different vibe. So like things like creating a Pinterest board, things like creating a playlist on YouTube of ambiance videos that I want to have playing while I work. I still need to create a music playlist. Right now I've just been listening to like solo piano, which could be the vibe. And that's what I'm still trying to figure out, like what is the vibe for this book? Like I can't use the musical playlist that I created for Independent Hearts 3 because then that just puts me back in the mindset of Elise, the main character of that book. So I need something that is unique to this book. And I don't know, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed. I just keep coming back to that. And I think I had a question a while back from, if I can find my notes. I had a question from Avi a while ago, and I know I answered her in the comments, but I jotted it down because I knew this would be something that we could talk about more, and we will talk about this more. But she said that she struggled when it's time to write. That's where I'm at. She'll clam up and start doing anything other than writing. Doing that too. Is afraid, not so much of failure, but of succeeding. She asked, how do I overcome self-doubt that makes her freeze? And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. It's just so overwhelming and so daunting, and I'm questioning, like, do I want this to be the next book that I publish? Because part of me really also wants to do Across the Pond 5. I just want to stay in that world. Honestly, I think going to England back in the spring, I think that messed me up just a little bit. Like, I just want to be back in England so bad. And so one of the things that really helped when I got back from that trip was working on a book that was set in England. And so part of me just really wants to stay in that series and keep working in that series. It's like I'm facing all this feeling of overwhelm and questioning, what am I doing with this project with Independent Hearts 4? And then that's tempting me and making me feel like, well, you've got these other projects you could work on. Because I also have Rural Romance and I have Project Darkness. Like, I've got choices. I do have choices. But I know this is the one I want to work on. And I'm sorry for all the jump cuts. I cannot stop yawning. It's just like it was yesterday, and as you listened to the last vlog, with the windows open and going for my hike this morning, I am getting so much fresh air, and it is honestly acting like a sedative. I just want to go lay down on the couch and take a nap. But I really want to work for a little bit longer on this. I just feel like I need to start writing. And ultimately that's the thing. Going back to Avi's question, you could easily waste months, if not years, on planning and development and outlining and character building and world building and creating mood boards and playlists and like all these things. You absolutely could spend forever doing that. But I just feel like I have to start writing. I have to just start writing. So I've been looking at the book in the index card layout so I can see the entire book. I flip you around so you can see, but I can't show you. So Scrivener lets you do what they call corkboard mode. If you fill out the index cards in each chapter, then you can open up corkboard mode and see all of your cards. I've done I'm pretty sure I've shown this in one of my Scrivener videos, so you can go and look at that. If it's not in my Scrivener for creative writing video, then it should be in my easy outlining method, because that's where I create all of these. So I've got that open so I can see the whole book on my screen, and I'm loving my big monitor for this. This is the first book that I'm kind of starting from scratch while using this monitor. I didn't have this the last time, so this is going to be fantastic. But yeah, I need to just start writing, because you will just continue to second guess yourself. You will just make yourself feel more and more overwhelmed and more daunted by what you're trying to do. So you have to just do it. You can't climb the mountain in one big leap. You have to take it one step at a time. And it's the same thing with writing. You can't write the whole book in one day. So you have to just start with chapter 1 or chapter 4 or chapter 10, whichever chapter you want to start with, but you've got to just start. And I feel like writers don't like hearing that. My students certainly don't like hearing that, but you do have to just start and then keep going. So there are little things that I'm going to be working on along the way. I'll continue doing development. I'm definitely going to keep the Plancer journal and my project notebook nearby as I'm working. When I write something in the manuscript that I feel like I need to remember and keep in mind, I will add it to whichever journal it feels like it goes best. So the Plancer journal I'm thinking I'll use this for plot and character development notes for this particular book, but some things will also get duplicated into here because this has my notes from the first, second, and third book. This has everything, and there's enough pages left that I don't even think I'll fill this by the time I get through book 5. So I'll just continue it with book 6, because there will be a book 6 and a book 7 and probably a book 8. I know for sure what I want book 6 to be. So like book 5 will take us through the characters you already have met and already know. But then I also have an idea for book 6 with a main character who is not currently like on the playing board. I like to keep the project notebook as kind of like my series Bible, and the Plancer journal is going to be more for like this particular book and just a place to work through problems for this particular book. So keeping the notebooks updated. I'm trying to also come up with title ideas and a book description early on. So that's something else I want to work on. I've started jotting down some like notes and themes that will play into the title of the book. And I already know like part of the title, because of the way this series is structured, part of the title will reference the business that's being focused. So it's figuring out the second bit. I'll keep adding to the mood board because that just helps me kind of I think every time I sit down to write, I'll just do a little bit of pinning on that because it kind of helps get me into this world, like visually, to see stuff that just is reminding me of the aesthetic and the vibe of this world really helps. I'm such a visual person, but also like music helps. I don't have a project candle for this, and I don't know that I will, which is really weird, but I don't know, maybe I should get a project candle. I just don't know what it would be. It would need to be something light and summery, and that's not what's in stores right now. I'm still trying to get all that figured out, but I'm not gonna wait to start writing until I do. I also need to work on the cover. The cover is going to be a big, important step So the covers are going to be a big focus throughout the last few months of this year, 2.5 months of this year. I want to get the cover illustration done by the end of winter break at the latest. So we'll talk about, before I get too sidetracked on that, I really am procrastinating because I'm just feeling so overwhelmed, but I need to just start writing. So I'm going to reread the last bit of chapter 3 and the first bit of chapter 4 just to remind myself of where I'm at. I'm not going to go back and reread chapters 1 and 2, or again, I'm not going to get any writing done, and I really want to get some writing done. So I'm just going to start writing. For some reason it's scaring me, and it shouldn't be, because it's not that big of a deal, because it's just the first draft, and the first draft is for my eyes only. Well, and my alpha readers, but they don't judge. They're allowed to read really horrible bad drafts, but I can also make changes to the first draft before I share it with the alpha readers. So that's another thing. Just remember, the first draft is for you, so you just have to start writing it. Don't let fear of perfectionism and fears of it having to be just a certain way hold you back from writing, because none of that matters for the first draft. The first draft is going to be bad. The first draft is going to be terrible. The first draft is going to need so much work, but you can't do that work until the first draft is written. If you have not read Anne Lamott's essay, Shitty First Drafts, it's from her book Bird by Bird, but you can find just that chapter, that essay, online. I share it with my students every semester. Look it up. If you struggle with first drafts, highly recommend that. But also, one of my favorite quotes is by Terry Pratchett. The first draft is just telling yourself the story, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just telling myself the story. So if things aren't perfectly developed, if I don't fully understand the characters yet, if I don't fully envision the world yet, I'm just telling myself the story, and I will then go through and figure out where all the big issues are, and then I will edit them. We will talk about deadlines in a little bit, but first I want to try to get at least 500 words written. It's 2:30 already. I'm going to try to work until at least 3, if not 3:30. I had wanted to do at least an hour of writing. I might amend that down. Let's do 45. I'm going to turn on my timer. So we're going to compromise. We're going to do 45 minutes. We will see how much I can get written in that time. It'll probably be more than I think. It'll be at least 500, but it'll probably be more than 500. And then we will talk about deadlines and targets and goals and all of that stuff. Stop. It's been 45 minutes, 3:18, and I have done 1,102 words. So I feel really good about that. I won't lie. But yeah, it's coming along. Chapter 4 is now, well, it's sitting at 1,933 words, but that includes 398 of those words are my outline. So, and I already feel like it's probably getting a little bit long, but I don't need to worry about that. We're not worrying about that. So, timelines, targets, deadlines, not deadlines, guidelines, goals. We're gonna be kind on this. I was looking back through my project notebook And I did see that I had written down the project timeline. So I started it on December 2nd, 2023. The outline was completed on January 24th, 2024. I started draft 1 on March 25th, 2024, but I paused work on April 1st, probably because I was focusing on getting Forever Love London to a certain point before the summer started. And then I restarted it on 6/25, so that was the one day that I let myself write. And then I have put that I have also restarted draft 2 again on today, October 19th, 2024. So yeah, I've been working on it a little bit throughout this year, but not as much as I had thought I would, and that's okay. As for when I am hoping to publish this, and again, all of these dates are flexible. None of these dates are ever in stone until I tell you, like, this is a firm date. I'm gonna be kind of aiming tentatively for like end of summer. It really would be nice to not be publishing a book in the middle of the semester, and I would like to be starting to get into a habit of publishing books in August so that I'm writing a first draft during the fall semester and I'm editing the draft in the spring semester, and I'm doing the final copy editing, formatting, proofreading during the majority of the summer so that I can be uploading everything by like August 1st at the latest. And so even if it's launching after the semester has started, the hardest part of the work is done before the semester starts. That had been the hope and the plan for Forever Love London for most of this year, and then it just didn't happen. Going to England was worth it, but definitely slowed things down. I probably lost about 5 to 6 weeks of work time on Forever Love London, and I am hoping to go to England again this coming summer. So honestly, the biggest problem with Forever Love London was the fact that the cover wasn't done. So that brings me on to the next thing to talk about that's like that I'm going to be doing it differently. 8 books now. I have saved the cover for nearly the last thing. And that's not always been intentional. I've never meant the cover to be the very last thing that gets done, but I've always kind of lumped the cover design in with the copy editing, formatting, proofreading, all of those final pre-publishing stuff or tasks. And I'm realizing I can't do that anymore. It causes me way too much stress. So we're gonna start doing things a little bit differently. I can't do it exactly how I want to do it going forward in the future because this book is already outlined and I'm already 3.5 chapters into it. Going forward, I would, and it's going to be the same thing with Across the Pond 5 because that book is also already outlined. Eventually, what I would like to do is be working on the cover while I'm outlining the book and making myself finish the cover illustration before I start writing it, because I think I always am so excited to write that if I have that to motivate me, I think I'll get through the covers faster. I at least need to get the pencil illustration done and the line drawing, all the hand illustrating portion of it done before I start writing. And then while I'm writing the first draft, I can be coloring things in and doing the work in Photoshop. So that will be how I do it going forward with, I think that'd be starting with Independent Hearts 5 and Across the Pond 6. But for Independent Hearts 4 and Across the Pond 5, since those books are already outlined, I'm going to make myself work on the cover. I will probably give myself, I think with Across the Pond 5, I'm going to set myself a goal of the cover has to be done before I'm halfway through the manuscript or I can't finish the manuscript. And so if I'm not done with the cover by the halfway point, I will pause writing, finish the cover, and then resume writing. And I think that will be good motivation. For this book, I don't want to do that because I really want the manuscript for this one to be done by the end of December. So I'm basically giving myself, I haven't set my targets in Scrivener yet. Let's just do that. I mean, why not? Let's just see how unrealistic this is going to be. So we're gonna do December, let's say 20th, because I probably don't want to write between the 20th and New Year's. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna write 4 days a week. I'm not gonna select Thursdays. I'm gonna do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so if I can write on Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, that will be bonus. Allow on day of deadline. Okay. Okay. Might not be possible. I'd have to write 1900 words. Ah, bummer. Well, so much for that plan. I really wanted this book to be done this year, but I just don't, 1900 words a day is not realistic. What if I do Thursdays? Brings me down to 1500 words a day. What if I do every day? That's not realistic either, but that would be 1125. I am going to not give myself a deadline. I'm just going to take the deadline off. I'm not going to write with deadline, which is scary because I always write with a deadline. But I'm just going to, at least for the rest of this month, I don't want a target. It's going to feel like a target on my back if I set a target, and I don't want to do that. I have not written regularly. I don't even know. When did I finish? I need to pull up that chart. The first draft of Forever Love London was finished in March of 2023, and then the second draft was finished April 15th. So like, I was working on Forever Love London this year, but I have only been editing Forever Love London this year. I have done no... How have I not realized that? How have we not talked about that? I have not done any first draft writing regularly. Like, I've done bits here and there. Like, I did some work on this project in March. I did some work in June. I did some work on Across the Pond 5 in England. So I've done bits of writing, but I haven't really had a regular daily. I guess back in March, but that was just, I started draft 1 March 25th and I paused work on April 1st. So that was barely even a week that I was writing. And I completed the outline at the end of January. So I haven't had a consistent daily writing practice at all this year. No wonder I feel so overwhelmed. I forgot how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. That's not good. I don't like that. I don't. That's not how I want to be. I need to be writing. I need to be writing, if not on a daily basis, then on a weekly basis. So even when the current priority project is moving on to like the editing stage, I need to be working on writing the next project. Yeah, so I'm very out of practice and I'm very overwhelmed. It felt really good writing though. It did feel good writing. So I'm happy about that. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So I also need to be doing the cover because I want the cover to be done before I start editing this book. Would like to try to finish this by the end of this year, or at least by the end of winter break. And I would also like to have the cover done by the end of winter break. At least that line illustration so that it's ready to be scanned and imported into Photoshop. So in addition to continuing to add to my Pinterest mood board and find, you know, music playlists and organizing all of that and doing more of the character development and stuff, in addition to all of that, I also need to be coming up with my cover design presentation. I always put together like a Google Slides presentation with all my inspiration and ideas and things like that and get some rough sketches done. So I want to have the cover design presentation and a very, very rough sketch done by the end of October so that I can be sketching throughout November and December. And I kind of know generally what I want the cover to look like, because with the Independent Heart series, it's just a drawing of the shop front of the business that's the focus of the book. And I've already started describing it in the book itself, so like I kind of know what I'm working towards. So yeah, anyway, I'm ready to go relax for the rest of my Saturday. So I will show you my cozy relaxing Saturday, but I am going to log off everything. I started writing. I did the thing. It's scary and it's overwhelming and it's nerve-wracking and I'm very intimidated and I'm very overwhelmed, but I did it. And I got over 1,000 words, and so I do know what I'm doing, even if it feels like I don't. Right. I did not mean to read for almost the entire evening, but that is what I've done. I was within an hour and a half of finishing the book, and I just kind of realized that if I just read while having dinner and then continued reading, I'd be able to finish it. So I have finished The Secrets of Wyldcliffe Heights. It was so good. It was so good. Highly recommend if you enjoy dark, gothic, mystery thrillers. It's a bit of a slow burn. It's not an action-packed thriller, but it is very tense and very creepy in places. It's one of those books that's spooky and creepy and just on the borderline of scary, but it's not horror or anything like that. Definitely agree with the book description that I read that referenced The 13th Tale. Definitely has shades of that. They also referenced Jane Eyre. Totally see those connections. It also has, there's a bit of like Rebecca, so like all of those kind of 18th and 19th century Gothic style mysteries. So if you're a fan of Jane Eyre, Rebecca, more modern books like The 13th Tale, I'm trying to think of some other contemporary books. It also has elements of, was it Girl Interrupted with Winona Ryder and Angelina Jolie, young women who have been institutionalized. It's got themes of that as well. So it sounds like as I'm describing it, it sounds like there's a lot going on in this book, and there is. So I feel like a common criticism that it could get is that it's overly complicated, but I don't think so. I was able to follow it. My brain is not always that sharp at the moment, and I was able to follow it pretty well. It is a book though that I think you have to be willing to think your way through the plot and be paying attention. You can't just be passively reading it. But it was just so good. There's almost, I think, like 4 different plots, and there's a story within a story within a story. Like there's multiple stories being told. There's one storyline that takes place in our present day, like whatever year it was written in. There's a story that takes place in the, yeah, there are 4 stories. So there's present day, there's the early 90s, there's the early 1920s, and there's the 1890s. The current timeline and the 1990s timeline are the most prominent ones, but both of those then reference the 1890s and the 1920s. So as someone who's also a history fan, I think if you're interested in women's history, there's like stuff in here. It's a good book. I really enjoyed it. It was exactly what I was looking for. I wanted something in the vein of Jane Eyre, 13th Tale, Rebecca, all of these types of books, and that's exactly what it was. So it delivered. It completely delivered. And so now I'm gonna read In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I've read, I think, 3 other Ruth Ware books, and I've loved all of them. I don't know that I will do any more reading tonight. I feel like I'm all read out. I'm gonna watch some YouTube for a little bit and then go to bed because I want to try to go for a sunrise hike in the morning. If I do, I might vlog that and throw those clips onto the end of this vlog. I probably won't talk tomorrow, but I'll just vlog the hike. So if you enjoy the hiking footage, keep watching, and I will try to add in the kind of hike I was hoping to have this morning. Although I got a wonderful hike. I wasn't bargaining or expecting a rainy hike, but that's what I got, and I am still really happy about that. But I'm looking forward to what will hopefully be a cool but sunny, clear sunrise hike tomorrow. I don't want to stay up too late. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this vlog. You've got 1, hopefully 2 hikes. We've had our first hike of the season, which is so exciting. And I've started writing again, so it's the return of the writing vlogs. The writing vlogs are back, but I will definitely make sure to vlog as much of the writing as I can. I'm gonna try to be writing every day, so I won't be able to vlog every writing session, but there will be lots of writing vlogs coming. I need to just remind myself to not be stressed, not be overwhelmed. I want to write this book. I really, really do. I'm just daunted because I'm realizing it's been a long time since I've had a regular daily writing practice, and I just feel like I've really I've been in a habit all year of working on my book every day. It just hasn't been writing, and I definitely feel out of practice. So we will talk more about that in future vlogs, how to get back into writing after it's been a while. Let me know any other topics you want me to address as far as writing is concerned. Writing first drafts, writing after taking a break from writing, dealing with self-doubt and writing. A lot of these things I'm just going through myself, but sometimes I feel like it helps you all to hear me talking through these things. So if there's anything you want me to think out loud about on camera, let me know in the comments. Leave me some mountain and cactus and hiking related emojis and some writing related emojis for the 2 big focuses of this vlog, to let me know which one of you lovely people have made it all the way to the end of this vlog. Give the vlog a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'd really appreciate both of those things. In the comments, just let me know if there's anything writing related that you want me to talk about. Let me know what you are working on writing wise, if you are one of my viewers who is also a writer. Let me know if you're excited for the return of the writing vlogs, if you're excited for the return of hiking footage in these vlogs. I cannot wait to edit this vlog tomorrow and to edit the hiking bit in the beginning, because I love editing the hiking footage. So yeah, let me know if you're excited about these things. I really hope you are, and just let me know how you're doing in general, because I want to know. And yeah, I'm gonna go get on with the last bit of my evening before I go to sleep, and I will see you all very soon in the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching this one. Bye!